one of the reasons why I am super ecstatic that you're here is because as a product marketer, one of the things personally that I've always had trouble with was SEO. It's one of those things that before AI, um, it just took very long to do. And it's as a marketer, it's one of those things where it's like I'd rather focus on quick results. And so for me personally, I've always pushed it off until I'll get to it when I have to get to it. And now with AI, it's pretty much easy. I mean, you can write a blog post in 30 seconds. And so I'm really happy to have you here and to ask questions, really to learn. So I'll have, I'll stop rambling and have you go ahead and introduce yourself.
For sure. So, full government name, Jake Schario. I've been doing search engine optimization for, I guess, 4 years now, 4 years. This year, 2023, started my own consulting firm called 38 Marketing. Uh, you know, at the end of 2022, started consulting with a lot of businesses, mostly in Chicago and Seattle, and just kind of spun that off into its own official thing this year. And so pretty excited about building that. And like you said, uh, the rise of AI really helped me make that an actual thing because it's just kind of helped speed along a lot of things in the SEO process. So that I don't need to search for copywriters or it helps me perform analysis and things like that. So like you said, AI, it's presented a lot of opportunities in SEO, and I'm sure you've seen in your own product marketing day to day.
Yeah, for sure. And a quick backstory about how Jake and I met, which is actually kind of funny. Not in the traditional sense where we've ever worked together or as colleagues. We actually met in Mexico in Guadalajara. At a it was at a pool table, right? Billiards.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to a pool party, and then that got scratched, and we just went to a pool hall. So
Ah, I
pool,
see.
yeah,
Yeah, we met through Seth, and it's interesting because traveling throughout Latin America, you meet a lot of people who are either expats or entrepreneurs, digital nomads, right? And one of the things that I love about expats, digital nomads, is that when you meet them, there's that kind of like there's that hidden agreement where you don't really ask like what they do, and they don't ask you what you do. You kind of just are along there for the fun. And I think that's one of the beautiful things is that no one really asks you like what your title is, what you do, who you work for. And I didn't know you were a marketer. You did SEO until like 3 weeks after meeting you, right? We're at a bar, I think, and SEO came up, and I was like, "Wait, you're a marketer? I'm a marketer." So it was very interesting, kind of how we clicked before, then we got started talking about marketing and SEO. And so one of the things that I'm curious about with AI is the content quality versus quantity. So in the realm of SEO, there's always that debate between quality and quantity of posts. What's more beneficial, fewer high quality, in-depth posts or more frequent, shorter updates?
great question. I this comes up a lot, and it's a question I ask myself a lot. And I think a typical answer that you'll get from SEOs will be it depends. And what it depends on really, because I approach it differently on a case by case basis, and I think with it depends on the authority that your website is built up. So, for example, I work with non some NGOs or like some loosely affiliated government organizations. Think like chambers of commerce or tourism boards and nonprofits, things like that. And so their websites have been around for years. They're affiliated and linked to high authority sites, very official sites, and then they have very good site structure and hierarchy. So, it's not only do they have that built-in authority, but they're structured in a way that's very easy for the algorithm to crawl and index and thus rank their content. So, for example, with them, their blog posts will be like 500 words, which if I'm working with, um, you know, other clients who are more business oriented and maybe their sites are newer, or they don't have that domain rank or domain authority that's as built up, you know I, I don't find the same success with that length of post. I would advise that they do something like 1,000 or 1,200 words, and I find that there's more success with that length of post. And then when it comes to quantity, like how often, I think that with a site that's just starting out, you do your keyword research and then you crank out as many posts as possible over time. And then you go back and you update that content so that it includes more FAQs, it has more schema, it has better organization, better H tags. Uh, because what I've found with clients like that, I've been able to have success just taking their existing content and then updating it. Reining in the focus of the keyword, the targeted keyword, the secondary keywords, the headers, the images, the alt text. So, because it, and this is, I'm just speaking anecdotally in my own experience, that sites with low domain authority, uh, it's an uphill battle. So it's like, you can do everything right. You can have your alt text, you can have optimized images, and that'll definitely help and all that. But you know, it's kind of like you're putting in a lot of effort, and you might not get that return because, like, if you're not an SEO, if you're a client or if you're a product marketer, like you mentioned, you're into those quick wins, those more like tangible, quick results. Whereas SEO is very much a slow burn. So you might as well just kind of put the content out there when you're just starting your site, and then come back to it in 6 months or come back to it in a year, and then update it, and just kind of, after you've seen how it performs, you can tweak it and kind of get to that next level of performance.
This is really interesting. I'm learning a lot, and you mentioned a lot of things I want to dive into. And one of the things is domain authority, which is something that I've learned within like the last 3 months of actually publishing blog posts. And just for like context, every single blog post I publish on gtmlabs.io is completely AI, like 100% AI. If I ever write something that's like me personally, I'm gonna have to like tag it somewhere like human, because everything is AI. Because one of the things I want to test is like, can can I rank with AI content? And which is another question I'm gonna get into. But staying on the topic of frequency and quantity, there's well, I've heard that if you post, let's say like twice twice a day, that can hurt you. Is there any truth behind that?
Twice a day. Yeah, I don't think I've heard that. I don't I don't know if I've seen it. But honestly, I I haven't uh, personally been able to churn out content where I'm posting twice a day. Um, but I think, to that point, it is good to kind of keep a rhythm. I've heard a lot of people talk about like maintaining some sort of rhythm of posting, like could be once a week or it could be once every other week, it could be every day. Some people, with one client I had in the past, was saying like, let's churn out, 4 posts a week, and they definitely uh, are successful and are ranking for a lot of keyword terms. But that's that's a lot of budget, to put towards blogging and content and SEO. So, uh, I would suggest finding a rhythm that suits your goals and your budget, and try to maintain that consistency.
Yeah, I gotta put you onto some tools. There are auto blogging tools that can generate blog posts. Like you give it keywords or like long tail keywords, and there's a fly, and it'll generate the blog post. And you give it so you give it like a keyword, which is like the main topic, and then you give it like a bunch of other keywords, and then we'll try to create the blog that so that it'll contain all of those keywords, and it'll have pictures, a key takeaway table at the top, bullet points, numbered lists, and bullet points, FAQ, and it's like a very good structure. So I'm currently playing around with some of those tools. One of them is called SEO Writer.ai, I believe, and which is a interesting tool. And yeah, I'm very curious about just seeing if it'll rank. I just started using it 2 weeks ago, and so it's still too early to tell on all of the content because a lot of the content I'm writing, it's not even being indexed by Google. So I have to like manually go in and like figure out why it's not being indexed and like try to see how to fix that.
Hmm.
And and so you mentioned domain authority, and like I said, it's something that I've recently learned within 3 months. And unfortunately, my domain authority is like non-existent or it's very low. And so considering long-term perspective, it's often said that it takes around 8 months to see any real impact on domain authority. How accurate is this time frame for like a let's just say like a tech startup? And what should they be focusing on during these initial months to build a solid SEO foundation?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's fairly accurate. You know, to kind of talk to your point there, I have a couple clients who started working with them in January of this year, 2023, and then up through April, May, we had some incremental success, some incremental increases. Uh, but we didn't really hit that 2x 3x, and now one client is 10x their traffic. um, you know we didn't really hit that until 8 months out, until about July, August. So I'd say that's pretty accurate. Uh, and with one client, they had some decent domain authority. They had uh, pretty good rankings for some keyword terms, and we were just able to build on that. And then another one, you know, their domain authority, according to Ahrefs, which is the tool I use, uh, was like 6, and then now we're at 22. And yeah, we were getting maybe 100 organic visits a month at the beginning of this year, and then boom, we get to August, and we've been doing over 1,000 every month since then. And so, kind of using that as a case study, to build domain authority, you need other sites to link to you, right? And so it's about creating content that you know is helpful. That provides expertise and provides something unique. uh, and so I like to do that. There's a process that I use. So this is where it's helpful to work with already existing content. You do an audit, you look at what is performing, and you find what are called search entities. And it's basically just your website's areas of expertise. It's what has started to pick up traction with Google, and you try to flesh out content within that topic, right? And talk about subtopics, and just like attack it from different angles. So it could be like travel. Okay, I talk about you know international travel. Let's say I have an international travel blog, and my European content is being picked up more. It's performing better in the search rankings. So you know You see, if you're talking about Europe as a whole, then you maybe want to talk about Spain and Italy and dive into those a little deeper, and France, kind of break it down into various subtopics and really like flesh it out and build out your content within that entity or search topic, if you will. And then also, so with this client where we start out with low authority and then boom, all of a sudden, we're getting thousands of hits a month or sessions a month. Something that really helped us was we were able to capture a featured snippet, right? So it's when a portion of your blog post or your content is featured at the very top. It's above the map, it's above the paid ads, and it's just like that little paragraph that answers the question. Specifically, it was like, are there tax incentives for female-owned businesses, right? And so we were able to get that, and we were featured there. So then a bunch of other sites, it could be other blogs. There's a lot of like content farms. There's just a lot of other people building out their blogs and their websites with borrowed content. They'll link to that to your site because you're at the very, very top, and they'll reference your site. So then all of a sudden we're getting thousands of backlinks, and so our domain authority skyrocketed, and then other pages on the site started to climb up the rankings and get on the first page.
Wow, so there's really it sounds like there's more of a strategy behind just creating content. Like there's like different ways to approach it so that it becomes you said unique, which I want to cling to that word because now with a lot of with AI, when it writes blog posts, it only writes from what it's trained on, right? Like it's trained on a lot of data, a lot of information, articles that's already out there. So I
Mhm.
don't believe it can produce new, unique content. And I think that's where the human touch element comes in that adds that, okay, everything before this article is kind of average, and I'm adding my expertise and the uniqueness so that it ranks on Google. And you mentioned performance. When you mean performance, do you mean the search volume or do you mean where it's on what page of Google? Like if it starts at the fifth page and then slowly going up to like the third page. What do you mean by performance?
Yeah, I just mean like ranking and click through rate. So yeah, it's just kind of like general term that I'm using to reference where it ranks, and then how much traffic is it generating, and how
Got it.
many
Okay.
people does it rank for.
That's interesting. Yeah. One of my highest performing blog posts is it's comparison between competitive intelligence tools, Crayon versus Clue. And it's like it outperforms it by just search volume. And it's I think the highest closest to the first page in Google, but it's not nearly anywhere near first. It's probably like the fifth page. And so gives me some ideas. Just probably focus on that keyword, crayon versus clue, and start to build on that.
Yeah, comparisons are great topics too. I mean, pros and cons. Compare one product to another. So yeah, I think you're on the right track.
Yeah, with machine learning, AGI, and tools like ChatGPT and Claude, how should tech startups integrate these into their SEO strategies to enhance their content and visibility?
How should they integrate these things into? What's up, Nate? What do you need? All right, cool. It's my brother.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no worries. I can edit this out.
it's all good. Um, so, how should startups integrate AI tools into their content strategy?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like speaking from experience, you're talking about using AI to write your content, and then like adding a human element. I've had some stuff that's written purely by ChatGPT and it ranks better than, uh, you know, some other clients where we're using human writers. So it's kind of it's strange. I feel like at the end of the day, the algorithm, it's a machine, and if you're using a machine to write for machines, a lot of it is just kind of very scientific, and it's like looking at structure uh, and things like that, and that's kind of a cheat code, it seems. uh, is if you're writing for the algorithm, then the algorithm will like you, and whereas a human, it's not, it doesn't really, or a human doesn't exactly know how to write for the algorithm as much as you know a machine, or the AI, if that makes any sense. But how to integrate it, I think if you're running lean, it's a great tool. There's a lot of great plugins. I use Keywords Everywhere for ChatGPT to run analysis, to write landing pages, to write blog posts, and then for a lot of that, I'll have a human copywriter just kind of look it over, and do some extra research, make sure everything is accurate, because I have some clients that are in the medical space, or health and wellness, and or finance, and there's a lot riding on that content. So um, so I think it's definitely advantageous to build it into the workflow, and especially if you're trying to run lean. And uh, you know I think it's really imperative for anyone, uh, for any sort of startup or company, to figure out how to use it in your SEO or your content. And because the world's getting faster, so AI definitely helps with that.
Yeah, interesting. There's something you said that you mentioned health, wellness, finance. There's like a certain term, right, in SEO where it's like be cautious when you write about this because Google is really, I guess, more stricter. What's
Yeah,
that
your
keyword?
money, your life.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always found that one. That's an interesting keyword, or interesting, your money, your life. With so as we're discussing the integration of AI, what other like emerging SEO trends should startups be aware of? How can they effectively leverage these trends to gain a competitive edge?
So, I would say there's a lot of chatter about the new guidelines for ranking content. Like, it used to be expertise, authority, and trustworthiness, and they added an extra E, so it's like experience, expertise, authority, trustworthiness. And I've seen it so far. Like, I have some clients in the tourism space, and when they write about their local market, in a way that provides just local insider knowledge, then that gets picked up pretty quickly, and ranks. Of course, there's like a bunch of other factors. Their site loads really well. Their user experience is really good. Their site hierarchy and site structure is very organized, and they already have like lots of authority. So of course, it's going to get picked up pretty quickly. But yeah, and then talking about, you mentioned it earlier, content not getting indexed. Something I think that gets overlooked by a lot of companies, is your site, your link structure. So making sure that you've identified your top pages, and then you're linking other pages to those pages, so that's a signal to the crawler and the algorithm that, okay, hey, these are what we consider to be our top pages, so you should crawl these often and index it and rank it higher. So it just kind of it's another signal, and it helps the algorithm just kind of understand your site a little bit more. So that's I don't think it's necessarily an emerging trend, but something that I find a lot of companies just kind of overlook, for various reasons. And you know, another one, another trend. Um, you know, I guess we talked about AI, talk about linking expertise or experience. Uh, I think they're talking about generative. What's it called? Like generative AI or search generative content. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but basically like Bard and all these things being integrated into Google and just kind of I don't know if you've signed up for Search Lab at all, where you kind of get it's this program that Google is rolling out. I think it's in their beta right now, so you can sign up for it and it'll give you what they're testing out in the search results, which is basically Bard generating an answer to your question or to your search at the very top. And so it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Bing is already doing it. It's basically their answer to Bing integrating ChatGPT into their search results. So that will be very interesting to see how they reference, their sources. It'll be interesting to see what click-through rates are for those results, and to just kind of relay what I've been reading and researching is there was recently an experiment run by, can't remember who, but by a bunch of different organizations, and it was basically how to rank AI content, or how to rank better, like what. And so it talked about, I may be getting this wrong, but definitely quotations, statistics, and citations were shown in this experiment to rank content higher in the results. So I guess that kind of speaks to that expertise and experience part. So if you have some proprietary data and statistics and can cite that may provide that uniqueness that gets your content on the first page.
Yeah, that's interesting because I know it's hard for AI to accurately give statistics and quotes. It usually just hallucinates. So maybe it's ranking because it's separation from actual human content versus AI content that's just wrong. So maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely gotta check it. It pays
Yeah.
to have a human review it a little bit.
Yeah, I just searched it right now. Search lab. It's I Google labs.google .com. I'm gonna install it and play around with it. Also, previously you mentioned domain authority and how it's important to have other organizations' websites link to either your pages, your website, or like blog posts that you've written. It reminds me of in university, there was a lot of research papers, academic papers that I've read, and one of the things that they taught us is go based off of if you want to use a article, choose one that has a lot of other people pointing to that article that it's referenced a lot. So it's kind of that's how I think about um that's how I think about articles now, like that experience and that authority. It's kind of like those academic scholarly articles where you pretty can you can trust it if it's being referenced by other articles or others, scholarly articles, other universities, people doing researching. So that's kind of how I think about it. And you mentioned website topics, which is something I'm still having a hard time grasping. How would you explain that to someone who's not familiar with SEO?
The topics or like backlinks and citations and stuff.
The website topics. So, like, if you have, let's say it's travel, like your website is travel. How do you break down the website hierarchy and the topics that go on the website?
Yeah, I mean it's a great question. It's a lot easier when you have a site that has a bunch of content built out and is ranking, relatively well. So yeah, you kind of just want to generalize it. You don't want to get too specific. Like if you're, you know, talking about a coastal destination, and you see that they have a bunch of different beaches, and then they're ranking for, activities on this beach, and then, activities on that beach. You don't want to break it down into the specific beaches or the specific activities. You just want to group it all together and say beaches is their topic, or maybe it's common activities, like it's uh, beach volleyball on every beach is something that they're ranking for. So then you'd be like, okay, it could be beach volleyball in, I don't know, Miami or whatever, or LA, right? So you kind of want to make it fairly broad, because the point of the exercise is to be able to break it down. From there, break down the subtopics that can feed into that general overarching topic and kind of support it. I have an analogy in my head. I'm not sure if it really makes sense, but you know, it's just all these little supporting topics that talk about the beach and various aspects of a beach vacation or beach life, and then so it can prop up the you know the overarching keyword of beaches in Miami, or the best beach in Miami, because like the general search topic is going to be the most competitive, right? So because like people are always just searching beaches in Miami, right? And like think about all the websites that are writing just about South Beach and North Beach and whatever. It's very competitive. But then all those little tinier, those smaller topics, maybe they get a lot less search volume, but a lot of times they're going to be, a lot less competitive. And if you've kind of built rank within, where to find a beach cruiser in Miami Beach, or, the dive bars in Miami Beach, or, these little events, like when Google sees that you've written about all of that and started to write about it well, then it's going to rank you for that very general, very competitive search term that gets tens of thousands of searches and views every month. You know what I mean?
Mhm. And how important is it to have that structure on your homepage of like topics, or I guess they're also called like clusters?
Mhm.
It like if you're pumping out a lot of content and it's fairly good content and it follows a EEAT formula, but let's say your website is like a one page website and your pricing is on the same page. Let's say you have one other link at the your top navigation where
Mhm.
it's your blog post, and that links to another tab. How detrimental is not having your website homepage having those topic or clusters?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I'd say it's pretty important. So, like, you talk about content clusters. That's where the intra-site linking comes into play. So Google's going to want to see, what are the pages that the owners of this site are referencing, because like we want to see what you're referencing on your own site before we look over what other people think is important. Maybe I don't know, but like it seems like a natural progression in thinking is the algorithm is going to want, and the crawlers are going to want to see what you're referencing and what you think is most important. So it's being able to identify that cluster via the link structure on your site. And then it's funny you talk about that, because over this past year I have really seen the importance of creating clusters and landing pages or content hubs. So I've found a lot of success in creating these landing pages, or I guess you could just call them pages or content hubs, that link out to other pieces of content or other pages on the site. Or so, like for example, if I have some clients that are nationwide, right? And so we started out with a site that more or less followed what you were talking about. It wasn't exactly one pager, but they had their pricing, and they had like their contact page, and they had their home page, and then they had their blog, and it's just like all their blog pieces were just on like a running scroll, you know. Um, and so what we did is we identified, okay, you're nationwide, right? And
You can just use that as a strategy, just link internally, from
yeah,
my YouTube channel to some articles and put that video into the article as well. But I
yeah.
hope it is. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I
Something
mean,
to
another kind of jogging my memory here, to earn like high authority backlinks, you could do Wikipedia, because you can
oh yeah.
create your own citation.
Mhm.
You can't don't I wouldn't do more than one. I've done that before and got all the links taken off, and like I got my account banned. But so just use it wisely and use it once. Reddit as well. Like I haven't. It's actually kind of funny. I was working with a client, and we didn't post on Reddit or anything. It was actually a post on white people Twitter, the white people Twitter subreddit, like
Yeah.
linked to us, and it wasn't like a bad. I don't know. I don't. It wasn't negative, but it was just kind of funny, and that's how we earned this Reddit backlink. And because I don't think there's like no follow and do follow links, backlinks, and I think Reddit doesn't have a no follow tag on its external links. So, or at least 2 years ago when that happened, it didn't. So if you can somehow earn a link on Reddit, that'll also be good for a startup that isn't investing in backlink or digital PR campaigns.
What is that follow and not follow link?
So yeah, I mean, it's something that you want to do on your internal link structure too. So yeah, I think officially Google says it doesn't matter, but uh, like all the case studies and research that's been done says it kind of does matter. Is so in the HTML, whenever you hyperlink out to another page, whether it's internal or external, uh, and was it like the ref tag or something like that? But basically, you can put no follow, and what that means is that the crawler, I think officially what it means is the crawler won't automatically go off onto that page you're linking to. It'll just browse over the link and then stay on your page and keep crawling it. So then it just helps the crawler do its job more efficiently. And what a lot of research or whatever a lot of SEO say is like it like I don't know if you've heard the term link juice, or like it is a weird term, but basically like uh, if you have a high authority site and then you link out to another site, an external site, then you're kind of giving them some of your
Oh,
domain authority.
yeah.
And so if you put a no follow tag on that link, you're not giving them that authority from your site, you know. But officially, it just helps the crawler do its job more efficiently. So if you can do that, it's pretty. I found it to be pretty useful.
And you can do that with Reddit. You can change the HTML on a Reddit post to say follow.
No, I think like so with Wikipedia and Reddit, they just like their code or how they're set up. It just doesn't put a no follow tag on any external links. Whereas a lot of other sites with user generated content, whenever you link out, it automatically tags it with the no follow.
Got it. Oh, that's super interesting. I guess like a strategy there would be like just go on a bunch of websites that allow user generated content and check. I guess you would do like a inspect element and check
Mhm.
the website to see if it has that little tag thing. And if
Exactly.
it doesn't do it, then that's a good strategy. Just like post a bunch. Is that considered black hat SEO?
Might be gray hat,
Gray hat?
kind of in the middle. But I don't know. I think black hat is a lot more. I haven't really dove into it at all, but I remember I had like a marketing manager in the past who dove into it a little bit, and she said it was a lot more covert. And I don't know. I think, for example, I think back in the day, a lot of people used to white out. Like they used to write a lot of text, like stuffed with keywords, and then like just color that font white, so then it would be a part of the background. And I think there's some other like hackery things you can do on the back end, but the user generated content, I don't think that's necessarily like super terrible unless you're just spamming it.
If that's the case, I've been doing black hat SEO since like high school, like stuffing, stuffing to meet like the word count. Have you ever done that or in college?
Maybe. Yeah, I definitely when I started out blogging and stuff, I was like, let me just like put this everywhere I can for sure.
Yeah, interesting. And there, yeah, because when I got into SEO, which again is like October, or like officially like really like dove into it, I came across black hat SEO, and I was like, what is black hat SEO? And then there's like you mentioned gray hat, there's like white hat SEO, and like the way people talk about black hat SEO online, it's like they talk about it like as if I do it, the cops are gonna come knocking on my door and arrest me. Like I just it baffles me that maybe I just don't know enough about it. Maybe it is like the CIA starts monitoring your activity based off of what you do, but it's people are very hesitant and very discouraging of people that do black hat SEO tactics. And I think there's been whispers and murmurs of people saying that AI SEO is a new black hat SEO because using AI generated content without any human intervention is basically not it's not helpful content, and it's not going to end the user search journey, and providing inaccurate information, inaccurate data is not helpful, and it's fact it's detrimental to the user journey, and you're hurting more than you're helping, so that's considered black hat SEO. I'm not sure. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Uh, I think AI for SEO and creating content, writing content it's going to be essential. I mean, you look at the search engines, Bing and Google, and they're integrating ChatGPT and Bard into their way of doing things, and so I think it would. Maybe I'm just thinking about it too simply, but I think it would make sense to use AI. Uh, if nothing else, than just how to structure the information and structure the content so that it's algorithm and search engine friendly. But yeah, I think going back to that experiment that we mentioned with the citations and the statistics, I think that's where the value add of a human comes in. Is double checking the information is accurate, putting in some unique statistics and citing sources and providing some unique experience that that's going to be an essential part of the content production workflow. So I don't know if it's going to be super black hat, but I can see a lot of those clickbait content farms just churning out 100% AI content that is produced with really poor prompts and things like that, and then just buying a bunch of backlinks all over the internet to link to it. And yeah, so hopefully Google like figures out a way to weed that out of the algorithm and the rankings and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like you're calling me out on that last one. Well, Jake, it's what was that?
No, no, nothing.
Well, Jake, it's been a pleasure. I definitely learned a lot, and I hope everyone watching and or listening to this learns some new things about SEO and how to, how to one do SEO and think about strategy, some myths and misconceptions, growth tactics, and like kind of just taking from your lessons learned. Especially that I'm definitely not going to put more than 2 links on the Wikipedia page and get my account banned. Where can viewers find you if they want to reach out to you?
Yeah, so hit me up on LinkedIn. Even if it's just kind of chat and kind of go over things. I love talking about what I do in SEO as evidenced by us sitting here and talking for like nearly an hour and a half. And so I could talk about it till the cows come home. So find me on LinkedIn. I'll have my website up, or it's under construction right now. So 38marketing.digital, and then you can email me at hello@38marketing.digital. Once the website's up, hopefully by the end of January, I'll be putting up some playbooks for SEO strategies for some different industries. We're going to start out with real estate, with travel, business services, and maybe some health and wellness sort of stuff. And that'll be free to download. And yeah, that's the best. Those are the best ways to reach out. Definitely LinkedIn, probably the most.
Awesome, and I'll make sure to link to LinkedIn and your website as well down below in the video or wherever this is placed.
Cool.
Well, awesome, Jake. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, man. Peace out, Joe.